Hi, this is Shane Starr on my day off. It's nice to be at home, back to work tomorrow. I wasn't planning on doing this video today, but something came up and I wanted to prove to myself that I can do something off schedule. So here we go. Um, Today's episode at what cognitive functions are at play here is about a friend of mine who works for the same company, or rather did work for the same company as me. He had to leave as a result of some time mismanagement issues. And he was one of my closest friends, whom I worked with. And I've been helping him try to get another job. Now, he told me that he was having to redo his resume and he needed to work on that and he wanted to see if I would help him. And I've been giving him, tips, just strategic tips like first things first, get your emotions under control. He's a very emotionally demonstrative guy. Um, and it can get away from him at times. And so my first focus for him was to help him center himself and put all of this into perspective. This wasn't his first job. It won't be his last job. Um, he needs to make a fresh cut from the past and move forward. And then from there, I wanted to open up some strategic spots for him to apply to. There's no use in just it's like applying to everything you see is like going. I don't hunt, but it's like going hunting with a blindfold and just spraying your gunfire everywhere in hopes that you hit something. I said, listen, let's figure out where you want to work, where's too far to work. Maybe where we are, it's not too far for me, but maybe it's too far for you, given some of the issues that you encountered, being to work on time and stuff like that. And then from there, just preparing himself to move forward. Once he's got some backup financing from his 401k under control, has his emotions under control, knows where he's going to apply. He already knows being a maintenance person, he's going to go there. So I have them all zeroed in, and it's like, what are you waiting for? Let's go. Where have you applied to? And it's like, nowhere, because my resume. And it's like, okay, send me your resume. Well, I'm not ready to send it to you yet. Okay, so it's been, going on 3 weeks now. So he finally sent me his resume last night. And, feeling like I had a lot of work to do, it's like I sat down, got some paper for notes, got everything ready to do a thorough analysis of his resume from a hiring employer point of view. And I get the resume, it's 2 pages. I would have liked to have seen more concisely 1 page, but I'm looking at it and I'm shocked. His resume, I mean, we don't do the same things and we don't have the same background, but on the face of it, his resume is better than my own. And I'm thinking he's spent the last 3 weeks stressing out, freaking out, crying, um, procrastinating. And today's question centers on this procrastination. What is he waiting for? What was he waiting for? Now, I understand in the context of, well, before I even get to that, long story short, I gave him long texts like I tend to do, long, um, you know, to-do list texts. I basically, long story short, told them apply today. Find 5 places to apply to. Everyone's looking for maintenance guys. It should be easy to get an interview. And so I got that out of the way. And now my question is, when we're trying to categorize behaviors into cognitive functions, into types, It gets a little murky and wishy-washy. Number one, because we don't have an agreed upon set of definitions. That's a huge problem throughout typology. Socionics also. A lot of socionics people think, well, our system's exempt from that. We have a clear understanding. No, when you look at Galenko's model versus Model A versus some of the newer renditions of models, Model L, like different functions and combinations of functions, positive charges, negative charges. It's just as much a mess as MBTI. Typing would be so much better, and I digress here, but we would be so much better off if there was just a clear and concise set of definitions. Once we have that agreed upon, the rest follows. So what I'm curious about, hopefully I get someone in the comments here, what I'm curious about is, with the knowledge that the same behavior can be for different reasons. For instance, when people get divorced, it can be for infidelity, it can be for money issues, it can be over boredom, it can be over, a tragedy or accident. Each of those divorces are the same action, the same result, but each journey started from a very different place. In the same way, as much as I'm looking at my friend saying, how and why did you wait so long to put yourself under more stress? I think back to when I started commercial real estate and I needed to finish my real estate degree from UCLA before I felt comfortable making calls. Meanwhile, people hired at the same time as me and even after me, they didn't have a degree. They didn't even know real estate as well as me, but they're making calls, closing deals already. And meanwhile, I wasn't getting started because I had to finish this. Part A had to come before part B, and much to my disadvantage. And ultimately, it's that issue and those types of issues, trying to get my database right, that led to my leaving that business. And then again, even now, my supervisors showing me within the company, because that's how we move in the company I work in, everyone, once you're going to stay, you move up and you might get switched to different apartment buildings, but you climb up into upper management. And he's, for lack of a better expression, had been pushing me out the door and said the same thing to me. Shane, what are you waiting for? You're ready for this. And it's like, no, I still need some more work on check void reissues. And he's like, dude, I don't even know how to do those yet. Go, you need to apply for this. And I'm still not. It's like, dude, I'm in a comfort zone. Don't bother me. So I don't think that means the same functions are at work in me that are at work in my friend, is what I'm trying to say. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. This person who I'm describing, he's very emotional, very emotionally demonstrative. And that's another problem, because he's so emotionally demonstrative, does that mean he's FE? Maybe, but if whatever your lead function is, you're good at it, which means you have it under control. If you don't really have it under control, is that a giveaway that that's your lead function, or is that indicative of the function not being strong, not being good? So I don't know which way to go on that, but he's a very emotionally demonstrative guy and very impulsive, I would say. So those parts didn't fit together for me in my thinking. Like someone like that, I would expect him to be applying to places before he's ready, as opposed to procrastinating when he's sitting on a golden resume that, like, he'll get a job as soon as he gets out there and puts himself out there. So on the one hand, I can relate to him. On the other hand, it's dubious whether him and I are coming from the same place. In fact, I'm leaning not. But maybe there's that element of seeking perfection in there that's common to his situation with his resume and mine with my knowledge base, in terms of being ready to move forward to the next step in your career. So, given what I've told you about this person, let me know what functions you think are at work of my friend, why he's unable to move forward. As far as I know, he still isn't moving forward, even though I gave him the green light. What's going on with that? And what type do you think he might be? He's ex-military. He is, he's had his own party days as well. Like I said, emotionally demonstrative, but afraid with regards to his professional career, and very unsure of himself on that front, and afraid to move forward, and lacking confidence in that area. That's all I have for today. Peace out.